Have a look how many deaths I got. Watch this. I'm in Act 1. Still the mud flats. 20 times, buddy. Oh man, I'm in big trouble. This video is about my approach to enjoying Path of Exile. For some background, I've been playing games for a long time, but I'm new to Path of Exile. I love role-playing games, I love open world games, and I love complexity. However, I've never played Diablo, World of Warcraft, or anything really like Path of Exile. So I found Path of Exile insanely complex. You can see my video, So I Recently Found Path of Exile, for my overview and how I score complexity. What I'm saying is, I can totally relate to other new players who say, it's too much to take in at once. So how do you enjoy Path of Exile? Firstly, who is Path of Exile for? Path of Exile is a game with an overload of complexity, content and depth that's all connected, sort of like a messy spiderweb. But it's totally awesome, insanely deep, and super replayable. I would recommend Path of Exile for those who enjoy building complex game characters with lots of variety, options, and combinations of skills, gear, and more. So, if you just enjoy a simple game, Path of Exile is not for you. These are some principles I have learned to ensure I enjoy Path of Exile and don't get overwhelmed. 1. Have fun. Path of Exile is so complex that it does come across like an entire school syllabus, but it's a game. It sounds crazy, but for newcomers, it's that daunting. So remember, have fun and play the way you want to play. Yes! Oh, I'm so happy. 2. Go at your own pace. You will be pressured to do things faster and more efficiently. My advice is ignore everyone. Let them stress about how slow you're going. I went slow because none of my other objectives in the game would be achieved by rushing. And I will continue to go at the pace that I want to go, until the pace I want to go to is faster. Slow run king. 4 hours to get to Act 2.
I have so many portal scrolls. It's one of the pros of slow running.
3. Learn, but divide and conquer. You have no choice but to learn in order to progress in Path of Exile. But don't do it all at once. Just learn a couple of things at a time and move on. Don't listen to every voice, or you will find yourself stressed, overloaded, or even comparing yourself with other players. Be happy that you can learn a little bit each time you play. It may seem like you'll never get there, but trust me, you will get there. Yes! Yes! It's been so long! 4. Failing is great. You will never remember a lesson more than when you stuff up. This applies to anything in life. And remember, you can restart a build, try a new playstyle, or change something. So just relax a little. It's a game. God, I'm about to give up, guys. Are you serious? Oh crap, I sold it. I sold it for like 4 alteration shards. Oh. When you're new to the game, guys, this is what happens. A word on being gifted items. I joined at the end of the last league, Necropolis League. I made a character in trade, but I wouldn't call it a playthrough. See, I was streaming and was given most of my late game gear. Now, while nobody was harmed during the process, it meant I didn't learn much at all. So Path of Exile was more like an action game for me. I was running around the screen killing things. I reflected on this, and weeks later started my first real playthrough without accepting gear. I did so in SSF. More about that in a minute. I've spoken to other players who've accepted gifts early on, and they didn't learn as much as they could have, or have the experience of being rewarded with good gear by earning or finding it. Choosing your league. Most players will want to choose the current league and either trade or solo self-found, known as SSF. Trade, where you don't select SSF, is where you can participate with others in the economy or even play together with them. SSF is where you cannot trade or play with other players in the game. You earn everything yourself. In trade, you can specialize in farming specific currency to trade for your gear. In SSF, you need to be a jack of all trades so far as they pertain to what you need for your character. I picked SSF because it's a style I can relate to from my history of gaming. It's more restrictive, so I wanted the extra satisfaction of finding or crafting a great item, and it pushes me to learn faster, especially crafting. But pick whatever you'd enjoy. Keep in mind though, You can migrate out of SSF into trade, but not the other way around. All of your trade characters for a league will share one stash of gear, and all of your SSF characters will share another. SSF affects your build choice. You cannot select a build which is dependent on unique items, since you may never drop these items while you're playing. You may still unlock characters which depend on uniques, but it's a matter of luck. Your first character or subsequent characters may stumble upon great gear, which then you can use to play specific builds later on. SSF will force you to learn about crafting, and I have noticed that many SSF players endure throughout the league, whereas many trade players get bored after a few weeks of achieving all their goals. It just depends what you like. However, dedicated trade players love to stick around and build their ultimate character. So don't worry, you can be a total Path of Exile degenerate in both modes. How to approach your build. When I started playing, I was unaware of the concept of a build guide. I literally said, I want to be a Slayer, and I checked Google and chose the Marauder class. End of story. However, I ran into trouble and ended up following a build guide. So a lot of people follow build guides. Basically a link or a video detailing choices for class, skills, items, etc. My advice for choosing your build is, pick a character which has a style you would enjoy. Whether it be melee, magic, minions, shooting a bow, make sure it's something you're going to enjoy playing through. Pick a build which is doable according to your abilities. If you're new, make sure people say it's a friendly build for new players. If you're playing SSF, make sure it's not dependent on unique gear, which may not drop during the game. Oh, and be careful of being baited. The concept of a bait build is one that looks good from the outside, but sucks to play. See what others have to say about it. A word about blindly following a guide versus learning. At some point, you will want to learn the skill tree. Don't aim to follow build guides forever. Aim to learn. But if you're a beginner and you're trying to learn about items and crafts and game mechanics and every other thing in this massive game, it may be best to autopilot the build in the beginning to give yourself some space. See, while learning the skill tree is best through trial and error, it may also mean that you quit the game if it's too hard. So do whatever you enjoy. For me, I followed a build guide to the letter initially and have started experimenting more and more at the end of my character. And for future characters, I will incrementally experiment more. So, fellow exile, I hope you will begin your journey. Remember, don't overthink your choices. It's a game. You can change course or restart anytime. And stay tuned because I will be releasing more videos to help newer exiles.